Hello everybody, this is Dedra with Paper Crafts and Planners, and today we're going to make one of these adorable little bunny Easter baskets. It just turned out so cute. I've seen them around. I don't know who originated this because I've seen them so many places and just a little bit of a variance on them. So I'm going to show you how I do it and how I did it for this one, and we're going to make one in yellow with the polka dots. So let me show you what we're going to need as far as supplies go. I have a paper pad that is dots and stripes. So one side is a polka dot pattern of each color, and on the other it's like this candy stripe here. Excuse my nail. Yes, I had a crafts-ident, as I mentioned in another video when I was crafting. So anyway, this comes in all different colors. I think that I purchased this at Tuesday Morning for like $2.99 for the pad, and it's 24 double-sided. So you only need one 8x8 piece for each basket, and you have scraps left over. So you could make 24 baskets out of this $2.99 sheet. So the pack. So that's a pretty good deal. We're going to need some kind of a stamp set that has bunnies or, you know, something cute that you want to use. On the first one, this one right here, I use this holiday clip set from Fun Stamper's Journey, and I will link it below. It's still available. And I use the little bunny head on that, which I think is really cute. On this next one, I'm going to use this set, which is I purchased on Amazon. It's kind of a no-name, but I love that it had the Happy Easter, Happy Birthday, and Happy Mother's Day all in one. It's not the greatest quality stamp set in the world, but it does a really good job for what I want it to do. The bunny is not, you'll see when I stamp it how it turns out, but it looks good enough for what we're doing. So I'll link to that below on Amazon. And the Happy Easter, I stamped this out and I didn't like the quality of it. This is all uneven, and I could have cut the Happy Easter out of the middle, but I didn't want to do that. So I had this older set that has the Happy Easter on it, and that's what I pulled from. But any sentiment will do, or you don't have to put a sentiment on there, whatever you decide to do. Okay, so you're going to need an 8x8 piece of paper. You're going to, for this, I used a scalloped die set from Spellbinders to do this. You can also use just a plain circle. It can be a punch, a die, use your Cricut to cut out a bunch of them, whatever you want to do. But I'll link to this one below because I think it's a really pretty, this scalloped one is really pretty. I used a tag punch, and this is Recollections. So that is Michael's, yes, Michael's brand. And I'm going to use a little heart punch, and this one is Recollections, I believe, also, or I don't know, some no-name brand. Well, let's see. No, this one's Paper Studio, so this one's a Michael's. Okay, you'll need a stamp block, of course, and whatever stamp you're using. And for mine, I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black ink because I'm going to do a little Copic coloring. Not Copic, but alcohol marker. Mine aren't Copics, but alcohol marker coloring. I had a little disc, a little piece of flat-backed circle that has a sticky to it, and this one I'm going to use the yellow because I didn't do yellow. And then I have a little bit of this stuff that goes in the middle, and I think this came from like the 99-cent store, and you get quite a bit out of this. This was packed really full. I've already done 6 baskets out of it, and I've still got quite a bit left. So I think that's everything. Some white paper, and then we're going to do yellow. Picked one of the yellow pieces this time. Oh, and some adhesive. You can use liquid. You can use the little dots. You can use double-sided tape if that's what you want to use. Also, you're going to need a little stapler though. And I'll show you when the staple comes in. And maybe some detail shears. Some small little scissors of some kind. Okay. First thing we're going to do, you could see how this was all these pieces, and we don't need, this is what's extra so far out of that 8x8 sheet. So you're going to end up with some extra. All right, so the first piece we cut out of that 8x8 was a 6x6 square. And then this is 3/4 inches by 7 inches long. Okay. And then I did the 2 discs, and let me see how big they are just so you see. If you wanted to do a circle, maybe a 1.5 inch punch would do it to cover up that little area. Oh, and this is an extra, but we're going to punch out of that. Okay, so let me pull my scoring board back in here. I'm going to put this 6x6 piece up here, And the first thing we're going to do, and I have it written over here and I'll put it down below in the description also. First thing we're going to do is score at 1 7/8. So that is right before the 2, that notch right before 2 inches. 1 7/8. And then 4 1/8. So that's the notch right after the 4. And then we're going to turn it once. And we're going to do the same thing. 1 7/8. So we're sort of making a tic-tac-toe here with this. And then 4 1/8. Okay, now this is the only tricky part. So I want to score some, but I only want to score in the corners, okay? I don't want to score all the way down the piece. So what I'm going to do is in this corner, 5/8. So that is 1 notch after 1/2 inch. And I'm going to score just to the next score line, okay? And then on the next one, 1 1/4. And again, just to that first score line. Then we're going to come down to the last square. So we're skipping the one in the middle, coming down to the last one. And we're going to do 4 3/4 and 5 3/8. So that is right before 5 1/2. Okay? We're going to flip it all the way around to where we have the opposite side up here. And we're going to do the same thing. 5/8, 1 1/4, and just to that first score line, like I said. And then we're going to do 4 3/4 and 5 3/8. Oh, something else we need to do while we are at this section here is we need to take a pencil and we need to just put a little dot right at the 3-inch mark. Just dot right there in pencil. And I didn't do it on the other side. So flip around and do the other side, that little dot there too. Okay, now we're done with our scoring board. Mine's the Martha Stewart Classic. I think everybody had that back in the day or still do. I know there are a lot of different ones on the market now, but that one's just nice and big and use it all the time. Okay, now we are going to take, see where we have that dot? We are going to go from this dot up to the corner. So you see the corner where that score line, those 2 score lines meet. Okay, and my little scissors are right here. So we're going to cut from that dot all the way up to right into that corner. Okay, same thing from this mark all the way up into that corner. Okay, and then we don't need this little piece right here. We don't need it. So we're going to go from that score line. Let's make sure I'm getting this right. It's kind of hard to see with this yellow paper. All the way up into the corner, and just poke that out. So that piece is not necessary. Right like that. Okay, now we're going to take, you've got these 3 columns here with the score lines. We're going to cut them up to that next score line right there. So you've got a little flap. You can see with this basket, if I had described to you how to do this, you would have said, oh, that is complicated. I don't even know what you're saying. But if you see me do it, it's just easy, really easy. All the way up to that one. And trim. And if you get these to where they're, you're not exactly on score, it doesn't matter. No one's going to know when you get the basket put together if these 3 are exactly the same width. And I'm doing this a little differently. I'm doing the lines and then I'll go back and do that middle section on this side. And it doesn't matter in what order you do it. There you go. Okay, from that point, that little mark you made, all the way to there. And this time this will just fall out. You won't have to do that extra cut. You already did it. And this all the way to there. Oops, I'm a little crooked there. That's okay. No one's going to notice. All right. So we have our basket ready to put together. I'm going to do my stamping first before we put the basket together. So I have this little bunny from this set that I purchased on Amazon. And again, it has no manufacturer name. It didn't have anything when it came. And I'm going to use this Memento Tuxedo Black because I'm going to use a little bit of alcohol marker. And this ink will not smear. So let's ink up this bunny. And stamp it right here. And you could see what around the little heart there, all those little dots. I don't know if you can see it actually. It's supposed to have little dots evenly all the way around. It does not. So that's what I mean about this not being the greatest quality, but it does stamp nicely, and I'm putting a heart on top of that anyway, so we're not going to care about that. And then we're going to take our little punch here, and we're going to punch out our little tag. And I'm going to punch Happy Easter on top of this tag. And I'll just use this black. You can use whatever you want. You could use a yellow color to go with the basket or whatever you want. And I think on the last one I did use pink to match the pink basket. And I'm going to stamp that right on that tag. I just did a little angle. It doesn't really matter. Okay. So let's color this bunny in really quickly. And all I'm going to do is color the inside of the ear here. The other one's folded over, so you're not seeing the inside, so I'm not going to mess with that. Now this is not paper you're supposed to use with alcohol marker, so I'm kind of staying inside that line a little bit because I know it's going to bleed. I'm just going to do the little nose, like cheeks. I'm not going to worry about that heart. We're covering that up. And I'm going to make her bow yellow to go with the basket. And I'm just coloring this in. I'm not doing any shading or messing with a bunch of different colors. And let's see here. And I'm going to do her just a dot on each eye. Make the eyes blue. You can do whatever you want there. Okay, let's cut her out really quickly. And I'm just trimming around with my detail shears, nothing fancy. All right, so the bunny's cut out. I didn't make you watch me do that tedious, fussy cutting. Our bunny's done. This is done. We're going to punch a little heart out of this polka dot paper. Make sure I get it all in there. And I'm going to adhere this right onto the front of the bunny. You can either do the striped side or the polka dot side. It doesn't matter. Put it right down there. You can see that just about covers that up, which is really cute. Okay, so let's put this basket together. Put everything on it. We're ready for that finally. Okay, so we're going to make it lie flat. So this is flat here. We're going to take the top two and we're going to join them together and hold them in place. Then we're going to bring this one up, hold it there, this one up, hold it there. We want a flat top to it, so we're just kind of holding it like this, okay? And then the next one up, and then this one. You see how we've kind of flattened everything out there. Kind of rearrange it until you get that flat across the top there. Then bring this up, right? Now we're going to take our little stapler and we are out of staples. Hold on, I'll be... Okay, I refilled my stapler and stapled this one. Cut that off. There was a little piece of this tip up at the top, so I'm going to cut that off. Okay, so flat. Put these two together. They're flat, right like that. Knees up there, next set. And this point and staple. Okay, and you see what you have right there? Cute, huh? All right, let's take and just clip off that little tip that's sticking up. Now we're going to take these 2 scallop pieces that I cut from that die, and I'm going to put them the striped side down, okay? Now you can either use liquid glue, double-sided tape. As I said, I'm going to use a piece of double-sided tape just because I think it gets a little bit of a better hold quickly, so I don't have to hold that there. Put a couple little pieces, but you use whatever adhesive you feel most comfortable with. There's those down. I thought about when I put the handle on, stapling the handle on, and I'll show you how I get it on in a minute. But unfortunately, this little stapler won't go through that many layers. If you use a regular stapler, it'll be bigger and, you know, to cover, but you can still cover it. And it might go through all that many layers, but I'm going to have to put my handle on a little differently. But let's put these 2 pieces on first, and then I'll show you the handle, and then we'll decorate a little bit more. And you'll notice I'm putting this the halfway point and below because my little scalloped disc is not sticking up very far up above. And I don't want, if I put adhesive all the way up though, it would show and be sticky. You don't want that. So just be mindful of where you put your adhesive before you attach these pieces. One on this side, and again I'm watching where my adhesive is. It was a little bit too high, so put it a little bit lower. There we go. So nothing sticks to them. You've got these 2 pieces. Now we're going to do the handle, and the handle again is 3/4 by 7, and we're going to stick it down. I'm just going to kind of eyeball how tall I want the handle to be, and then I'm going to put a little bit of double-sided tape on there. And if you keep in mind, if you want this polka dot to show, it's going to go on the polka dotted side, the adhesive. Let's put a piece there, and a piece on the other side. Liquid is fine again if you want to hold it in place for a little bit. Stick the handle down. Let's do the back side first. About that far. Just press it down a little bit. There's not going to be anything heavy inside these baskets, so it's not like you have to worry about the handle holding a lot of weight. If you like a shorter handle, cut it shorter. You like a longer handle, make it longer. But I think this is just about right. Okay, we're going to put our bunny on here, and I'm going to do that with liquid glue. And you see the ears are going to be sticking up, so I'm just going to do the body. I'm not going to put any adhesive on those ears. Do just like that. That cute little bunny. Just kind of at a little angle. You could do it straight on. Do you. Whatever you like to do. I'm going to put the tag right about there, so I'm going to put, well, let me put the little dot on the tag first before I do that. Where are my yellow dots? Here we go. Let's put one right down there. Or if you don't want to put a dot, punch a hole, tie a little ribbon, make a little bow on there. That would be cute too. Okay, so I'm going to put it right about there. So I'm just going to put adhesive on this top section right here. And then I'm going to stick it in a little angle, hold it in place for just a few seconds. And then this is where you'd put your little stuff in and, you know, put some candy inside, whatever. You know what, I thought these would be really cute for co-workers, or maybe you've got a Sunday school class. You could do these with little pieces of candy inside each one, whatever you want to do. I am going to take these Nuvo drops, and this one is in what's the color? Jewel Drops Rose Water. And I am going to just do the little nose, just a little dot there. And I'm going to do the tail in this little rose water, just in that little tail area. So when it dries, it's just going to be a little pink and it's going to be raised and shiny, which will be really cute. So I'm going to set the basket like that so it doesn't, if I set it up, it's going to drip a little bit. If you're doing multiples of these, what I would do is cut out all the paper. I'm just going to show you how much you have left. This is all the paper that you have left from, and all these little triangles from 1/8 by 8 piece. So that's pretty good. So I'd stamp all the bunnies or whatever you're doing to decorate. I would, punch out all the punched pieces you need. I would cut all the 6 by 6, cut all the handles, and then I would go assembly line and do each step together and not do it like I did, putting one together at a time. I'd do a bunch of them at the same time, one step at a time. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it's very easy. I hope you'll attempt to make one of these. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and happy crafting.